Hey there, fellow base builders. Rodamont here. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival. Episode 28. Building a Primitive Kitchen. Alright, if we're doing clay forming, I'll just do it here. Good enough place as any. So, here is the new pattern, a clay oven, which obviously is not available to us if we're doing the red clay, like I was saying. And this thing is honking. It is probably about the same amount of clay as an anvil mold. But unlike everything else, it doesn't need firing. You just, because I think the concept is once you put it in use, it like, you know, once you bake bread in it, it would fire itself. I don't know. It just doesn't. Because it wouldn't fit in a pit kiln. Who knows? And most of what I have planted in the farm is grains. Granted, they're like flax, and that's not great grains for the player to eat, because it's not a lot of grain satiety. But you can get a lot more bang for your buck out of the grain satiety by making bread than like trying to like have dry porridge or whatever. Looks pretty spacious. You saw a video that said that self-firing thing was somewhat realistic. Yeah, I'm not saying it isn't realistic. I'm just, it was more like, well, one, I didn't really know, but I figured it's possibly realistic, but two, unlike every other clay forming thing in the game, this doesn't get pit kiln fired, which is like maybe confusing to new players, because you make it and then you're like, am I done? And yes, you're done, which is slightly counterintuitive. So I was actually surprised in the handbook there wasn't more information about it, given how confusing it could be. But that's just Vintage Story. Complexity for the sake of complexity sometimes, and confusion for the sake of confusion. It's not to say I don't like the game, but there's definitely parts of it that are like, huh? Where you scratch your head and you're like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I remember trying to make my first refractory furnace and being like, I can't understand what's going on right now. Alright, so there's the rest of our fire clay bricks, or fire clay, and what I was going to do with this. So fire clay also can make fire clay bricks. Fire clay bricks are special in that they are what required to be able to make bloomeries. So the extra fire clay that I have here, I intended to make bloomery bricks. And fire them up. It wasn't really my priority, but I knew that at some point I was going to want, you know, some bloom bricks. So now we have the clay oven. And we'll be done with this in a second. So I didn't have an even amount, but we'll have enough for 3 firings of that. There we go. So I can just pick up the clay oven and we'll be able to install it in our kitchen once the kitchen's done. So there we go. I believe it is done being smoked. I'll take the rest of the firewood out. Hello? There we go. Wasn't like stacking properly. Telenus, thank you for the gifted subs. And welcome. Cheers. Alright, so we've got smoked plain red meat, which is fresh for 26 days. And if I stick it in a vessel, it's fresh for 95 days. And that is without salting it. And that is without to cure it, you know, or putting in a store like crock or whatever. I don't think I'm gonna need to keep meat longer than that, to be honest. I highly doubt there will be a mechanical advantage to keep meat longer than like 95 days. But yeah, that's the process of smoking, which is really straightforward once you understand the mechanics. And that's added in by both mods. So again, just to assuage confusion, the butchery mod that adds the butchering table adds that smoking rack, the hooks one, because it uses the same butchery hook type, right? And then the other mod, the primitive survival one, includes a smoker. A smoker is slightly easier to make because it doesn't require hooks. The disadvantage of the smoker is it requires you to truss up meat to put it in the smoker, and trussed meat requires twine. So I made the hooks smoker because it's way less expensive to make meat, more expensive to make, because I didn't want to truss up stuff. So I might at some point make this style smoker to put in the kitchen for the aesthetics, but I'm probably never going to use it. Maybe once ever, because I really don't want to use my my flax that way, because I have much better uses for flax. But now that that's done, let's grab the smoking rack. And now I have a smoking rack and clay oven, which I can install in a kitchen. Kitchen's probably going to use red shingles too, I'd imagine. So let's bring the red bricks and shingles over to our pit kiln area and just set them down. So here's... that doesn't help. Here's some raw bricks we haven't used. And then, shingles we haven't used. I'm going to want to fire up these, the fire clay bricks before I do anything else, and then we'll start working on a kitchen proper. Oops. Counting to 30 is tricky, apparently. Yeah, the primitive smoker can smoke fish and poultry. That would be one advantage. But if I'm feeding it red meat's good. To, you know, I don't need to worry about the other stuff. Alright, I need to grab sticks. I think I still have some. Oh, yes. And then I'll cut down a new tree. Well, actually, I'll just make the purple heart that I have into firewood. Because I have a bunch of purple heart wood that I hadn't actually chopped up into firewood yet. And the cordage for the smoker is used up. Exactly. That is precisely why I did this other style smoker, because I didn't want to use up all my cordage, my twine for it. Which makes sense that it would get used up, right? If you truss up meat and throw it in the oven IRL, that twine ain't going to be twine when it comes out. It shouldn't be. That's funny. I figured that wasn't going to work, because flint axes can't cut purple heart, but apparently the game's like, oh yeah, that's fine. Purple heart table, how does that look? No idea. Because it's all firewood now. And the rest of this firewood can go here for the crucible priming. Alright. It only gave me 3 per. Yeah, I think the purple heart is like worse for firewood, it seems. I haven't done a lot with purple heart in the past, but apparently it sucks for firewood. Good to know. I had mentioned wanting to try to reset the well head here, so I'm going to do that now. I'm not 100% sure how to do that, but I know it wasn't working. So I think what I'm going to try to do is to put down a full-size block down there, this andesite block, and then start a new wellhead on it. The problem is getting physically out of there, so I'm going to have to remove the brick, I guess. And then, like, build my way out. Okay. Well, I've now rebooted my game and reset the wellspring. If that doesn't work, I don't know. I'll troubleshoot it in my own time, off stream. Okay, so the kitchen. Here's what I was thinking. I was thinking of having it be immediately adjacent to the, well, you guys voted, rather. Immediately adjacent over here. So, if I had a kitchen-like area, because I already have the butchery sort of here. Oh, and speaking of which, we have clean offal. If I already have the butchery here, I'll probably want, like, a more official butchery at some point. But, the idea was to put a kitchen sort of back in this area. Oh, am I out of torches? Shoot. I'm gonna need to make new torches, too. So that I don't have to go very far for the food, because, having to run around with food in my inventory is going to be annoying in the long run. Where'd the bucket go? It's by the salt. So given the shape of the farm, I kind of like the idea of the kitchen being like here, where I'm standing. There's a little bit more land there. So what I'm going to start to do is to replace the soil with rammed earth, knowing that like where the kitchen's actually going to go is probably going to be wood or tile or cobblestone or something eventually. But just to make it easier to work in the area, I'm just going to do like a whole rammed earth thing. There is not really... So I know I have a well over there, and I can always start another well over here, assuming that the wells like actually end up working. Having well water nearest the kitchen makes the most sense, so I'm aware of that. But I also don't care, because I'm likely going to need multiples anyway, and they're not that hard to make, it's just some bricks. Cyber Eye, thank you for the resub. The kitchen itself doesn't need to be all that large. it just needs, and the other thing that I could consider is having the kitchen have, nice, like, staircase access to the root cellar here, and to remove the door that I have set up now. So that instead of this, like, very vertical door, it's a more gentle door going down into the cellar. And I kind of like that as an idea, because I didn't really like the way I had designed this. It's, like, too steep and unnatural. Because I want to use stair tiles in the future. So that's another thing I would like to incorporate while designing this out. Which does mean that the dimensions of this room is going to, like, fundamentally change a little bit, but not a big deal. So I think if that is indeed the plan, what I need to do is I need to start adjusting for that. So I'm going to move the tools that are hanging up here on the other side. And then, so this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I could do is I could dig this out. And this will be like be more of a 5 by 5. Do rammed earth here. Whereas, imagine this being a shelf instead of a door, and this becoming the new dimensions of the root cellar. And I think that makes more sense. It doesn't make sense for me to have to climb a whole bunch of stairs to get from the root cellar to the kitchen, and the inverse. So the root cellar door will be in this location. And now, this time I have, like, plenty of time to create, like, gentle stairs and have it work right so that we can walk around it freely. Rather than what I did before, which was, like, rushed. Because I was just trying to keep food from spoiling. Oh, must be daytime. I was like, why is it so light out? But yeah, sunlight. And then, consequently, this whole area here can become my butchery, right? So we have butchery, kitchen, and farm sort of on top of one another, and I think that makes a lot of sense as well. All right, at this point, the the salt should definitely be ready. So I'm going to head over there in just a second and tend to that, knowing that it is like 99% done. Or definitely done at this point. Well, not working yet. I did, when I playtested this, the well mod, or when I playtested specifically the well, this was a bug that I, like, ran into. I'm familiar with this one. I had to fiddle with it. And it's something I can solve off stream. I don't need to, like, bother you guys with it. Mostly because, well water isn't vitally important. I can just keep boiling it for now. It's not a big deal. And there we go. Salt. So if you're wondering what you can do with salt, here we go. Salt. So salt is used for curing eggs, fish eggs, if you want, like, raw. You can, oh, that's weird. You can make fish jerky, cottage cheese, brine, cured foods, cured smoked foods, which is, like, you know, good for frickin' forever. And then you can also make if you make brine, which is like salt and water, you can pickle things. Pickled carrots, pickled cabbage, pickled onions, pickled turnips, parsnips, pumpkin, peppers, olives, which helps to keep them as well. You know, keep vegetables from spoiling. So there's a whole bunch of reasons to have salt. And for that reason, anytime I'm done with a batch of salt, I'm just going to create a new one. Because it doesn't take me a lot of time, oops, to make seawater salt. That's one of those, like, do every 10 days and spend 2 minutes doing it and then benefit from it. Done. And I'll bring my barrel back this time. Only 5 per, yeah. Yeah, if you wanted a whole lot of salt, you could just have a whole lot of barrels. You know? Barrels are pretty cheap. Barrels are really cheap to make in the game. Like, being a Cooper in this game, like, no big deal. Okay, back to the kitchen project before I get too distracted. So let's first work out staircases. So in order to do that, we're going to want to figure out what stairs we want. So in terms of stairs, there is the brick stairs, but I don't really have the bricks for it. So we're probably going to do some sort of cobble, which is stones and a clay. I obviously do not want to use my fire clay for this, so I'm going to go get some more red clay in order to make cobble stairs. Now there is the what is it called? Path stairs, which allows you to walk faster. Hey, Stash! Thank you for the raid and welcome. I'm sorry I don't play the ukulele. Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon. Tell me about it. I only like tangentially know about that game, so I'm all ears. What is the synopsis, and what do you think? What's your opinion? And how am I? I'm doing pretty well. Little sleep deprived, not gonna lie. My wife's been out of town this week, and she's out of town till Sunday. I have a toddler, so you know what that is and feels like. But apart from that, it's like, could be going worse. He's been really mild-mannered, which is honestly a godsend. Cheers. Yeah, I'm not sick. That would be the worst. Actually, the a babysitter that I use like called out sick yesterday, and I was really worried that like we were gonna get lag symptoms as a result, and it didn't happen. And I was like super pleased by that, because nothing would be worse than having a sick toddler as a single parent. Well, okay, not nothing. I can think of a lot of things worse, but you know what I mean. That would be a rough situation. I'd probably have to like not work this week if that was the case. This is not like I was gonna subject someone to like watch a sick kid. That's just mean. Mean to him, mean to them. So, as I say, it could be worse. So the reason why I don't like the path stairs is path stairs don't appear like full blocks, which makes it kind of sketchy when you're forming a sealed cellar. Which is why I'm not considering using them in this instance. So the plan is to have the door to the cellar here, a new door. Obviously, this wooden chunk's going to move. I think I don't want to move the wooden trunk right now because it would create such a massive mess that I don't want to deal with that at the moment. And then we want gentle stairs so that I can easily enter the cellar. You know, let's just make a new door. Doors are so cheap, too. Oh, God. I was, like, nested in the door. So there's the door. If you want to know whether your cellar is still a cellar, you can just look at any of the storage vessels. My spoilage here is, like, 0.22, so yeah, it's still a cellar. You know, I'll prove it. I'll get rid of this door, and it will cease to be a cellar, and the spoil will be 1.26, right? So obviously this is still valid cellar. Okay, I don't necessarily want like to flood my kitchen, so while digging out the cellar stairs, let's dig from here, and then I'll build. Oh, yep, I missed. We'll build the cellar stairs sort of like backwards, where I make sure the whole thing has rammed earth, and at some point we can take a pass at the kitchen and replace all of the rammed stuff with like cobble stuff so that it looks nicer. That's just, so what I'm doing is I'm working on kitchen 1.0. I'm not working on kitchen beyond 1.0. But yeah, you can see the gentle sloping stairs that are far more walkable than having to hop up. My quads will thank me. I guess in a way I'm saying I'm skipping leg day. I'll even replace the andesite. Wow, that looks cursed. Oh, because I dug a wellspring. Derp! No wonder it looked cursed. So, you get sort of the idea where it's all going to be. Oops, wrong tool. There we go. So now we have easily pathable, traversable stairs into what will be the kitchen. And where the butchery table is now, I think I'm going to build the kitchen there, adjacent to here. And maybe I leave. Yeah, I'm gonna fill this in. So let's just go ahead and remove this now and fill it up. So it's gonna look like that. There. Okay. And I'll go one more deep. I'm obviously going to need more rammed earth for this. But this is future kitchen site. And I think what I'll do is I'll endeavor to try to keep the kitchen and butchery separated for like role-playing health reasons, because you wouldn't want like unprocessed raw meat around. Like you don't want potentially parasitic meat that hasn't been cooked around your anything else, right? So for, again, role-playing reasons, the butchery and the kitchen will be separated. I'd like to continue the aesthetic of like open style in windows. I mean, in this run I live in the tropics, so it's not like the it's not like it's ever going to get cold and I'm going to want insulation or anything like that. And I think what I'll do is have this be sort of a back wall in the kitchen. I forgot I put a torch there. Let's go recover some of my, like, long-lost torches. Might as well just get the dirt. Sure, I'll just have more stacks of rammed earth at some point. And I, for one, really like higher ceilings because they feel less claustrophobic, and they just don't cost that much more that it's like super cost prohibitive, especially when you're making them in rammed earth. So we'll have a window here, and then kitchen stuff here with, like, you know, I'll remove some of the fence. So maybe like even a double door. So like a wall double door thing. And I kind of like the concept of a shared wall here. So double doors. And obviously the skinning and butchery stuff will move in this spot. Alright, I need more dirt, so let's just do some flattening out. And I should have updated the priority. I forgot about that. Now, initially, I think what I'll do is the smoker I'm going to set up is going to be very basic looking, but eventually I wouldn't mind having a micro-chiseled smoker. I just think that there's other more pressing things to do before I bother with the aesthetics of a project like that. So, and I mentioned this a lot, but it's important to note, like, a lot of these are, I don't let things scope creep, so that I'm not working on one thing and then just adding onto it and adding onto it. If you want it to scope creep, you can vote for it when it comes back up in the polls, but I don't intend to balloon one simple project out a lot unless it continually gets voted on. That way, there's more of a bit of a variety of the tasks I work on. Muddy gravel doesn't work now. I don't even... Maybe I can fill in some of the holes with muddy gravel. So I could definitely envision falling off the ledge here and wanting like a lip that I can climb back up. Great, it's the clown music. Okay, for the sides here, I'll do full blocks. And then for the ceiling, I think what I want to do is incorporate support beams into the design, which I haven't done yet, but I think it would look kind of cool if I did. Oops, misclicked. So there is the rough dimensions of it. Plenty of room, it's not claustrophobic. And I'll have a good amount of space to put things down into. Then once more of the structure is laid out, I'll tinker with where like good support beams might be, etc., etc. Oh right, this has to be a one moment. Want a door, you're going back. Oh, a 3 tall door? Oh, well, I don't... Yeah, maybe eventually. for now, I was just going to have it do 2 tall door. 3 tall doors cost, brass or bronze or some, you know, the 3 tall doors here cost nails and strips of some sort of metal. So, that could be a future iteration. I don't know how I want to do the ceiling just yet. So that's to be considered sometime down the line. But perhaps like slope tiles or something. I don't really know. But let's go ahead and move the butchery table. Maybe here? Because obviously I'm not going to have fire pits here anymore. Oh, shoot. Meant to... Yeah, whatever. Let's fix that again. And they could share, like, a window. Oh my god. There we go. It's a butchery table. Hooks. I don't even have room for that. Put my backpack back in. Okay. So as far as the smoking rack goes, I'll just do it here. I'm obviously going to need to put some sort of roof tile above it so that it doesn't get extinguished. And we'll design a more complicated, or like have a more nicer looking spot in there in the future. For the wood oven, I might have this elevated on... I could put it in the window too. Actually, that's not awful. And maybe what I'll do is have my cooking pits be off ground, like above ground, so that I'm not constantly looking at the floor. I think that would be kind of nice as well. So something like one here, one here. Oh, I need to get one more grass. And one there. There. The only thing that this is missing is storage and a table. So table is... Wow. There's so many tables. A table is only needed to, like, start dough forming. And I think you can start in any flat surface, but why is... I don't want a fine table. Where's just... Oh yeah, here, wooden table. So boards in a pie shape. That will do. Is there a simple chair that I can do too? So I don't, you know, like the whole joke of the work rhymes. What's an undyed chair? Oh, it's gonna want cloth, isn't it? Aged crude chair. I could do a crude chair. A crude chair draw. Okay, never mind. Metal chair. Yeah, all these are like parts of the ruins that I don't have. So they're moot. Want to just put like a stump there or something. Stool? No. Whatever. Let's see. Everything. Yeah, there's kind of a lot of blocks, so maybe mouse scrolling is not gonna work. Dang it. I was hoping to have this look like a chair. But I built it backwards. There we go. It's totally a chair. Yep. Totally. Alright, so the clay bricks are still firing. The well is still not working. Joyous. And I think what I'll do is I'll just slap on a rammed earth roof on here for now. And if you want something better than a rammed earth roof, it will be voted upon in the future. And that will be the end of this project. So, with that in mind, what do I work on next? Up to you guys. Because the kitchen's nearly done. Hopefully that's enough earth. For an ugly ceiling. Not quite, and also I keep misclicking. I'll probably throw in the support beams in anyway. In some way, rammed earth, it isn't technically daub, but it like looks like daub, wattle and daub style, which would be oh, no, that's exactly what I need. Which would be somewhat appropriate. I like the aesthetics. I like the way it looks. It's good enough. Door to my cellar's open? Yeah, that's fine. Don't know why you're warning me about it. It makes no difference. Food spoilage only matters what room type it's stored in. Does not matter whether the doors are open or not. FYI. So, zero difference to me whether the doors are open or not. Zero difference to the food, I should say. I thought I scooped water in this. Wiki claims it makes a difference? Okay. I don't care. How's that for an answer? Makes no difference to me. Because I eat everything before it's, spoiled anyway. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow survivors.